Listen to me. There comes a time in your life when comfort becomes your greatest enemy. You've been sitting, waiting, and hoping for something to change. But let me tell you this, nothing moves until you move. You've prayed, you've dreamed, you've talked about it long enough. Now it's time to get up and grind, because God didn't place you here to stay stuck in excuses or fear. He placed you here to rise, to build, to conquer, to grow. Every morning that you open your eyes, God gives you another chance, not just to exist, but to elevate, to fight for your destiny, to grind for your greatness. You've got power in you that's been sleeping too long. It's time to wake it up. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for a perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The moment you decide to rise, the universe starts to shift. The moment you commit to your grind, life begins to reward your motion. So today, I came to tell you, get up, dust off your fear, look your pain in the face and say, you won't stop me, because the grind is not punishment, it's preparation. The grind is the fire that shapes your purpose. A pain is the birthplace of power. It sounds simple, but it carries a truth that touches every soul that has ever struggled, fallen, or been broken. We live in a world that teaches us to run from pain, to hide it, to cover it up with fake smiles and distractions. But what if I told you the very thing you are trying to escape is the thing that's meant to make you? What if the pain you're carrying isn't a sign of weakness, but the evidence that you are growing into your strength? Every scar you have is not a mark of shame. It's a mark of survival. You didn't come this far to let pain define you. You came this far to let it refine you. Think about it. A seed must break before it grows. The shell must crack open before the life inside can rise through the soil. The process of breaking isn't pretty. It's dark, it's silent, it's lonely. But without that breaking, there is no blooming. The same thing happens in life. When you go through heartbreak, failure, rejection, disappointment, that's your breaking season. It feels like the end, but it's actually the beginning of your transformation. The pain you feel today is the pressure pushing you towards your next level. You're not being buried, you're being planted. Every powerful person you admire has a story of pain behind their success. They didn't wake up strong. They were forged in the fire of struggle. The athlete who wins the medal didn't get there without training through exhaustion and defeat. The entrepreneur who builds an empire didn't do it without sleepless nights, empty pockets, and moments of doubt. The single parent who raises successful children didn't do it without tears, sacrifice, and endless strength. Pain is the classroom of power, and those who stay through the lesson come out wiser, stronger, and unstoppable. When you're in pain, it's easy to ask, why me? But the truth is, why not you? You have something inside you that only pain can unlock, that heartbreak that shattered you. It's not the end. It's the beginning of a deeper understanding of love, resilience, and value. That failure that embarrassed you, it's not your downfall, it's your foundation. Every time life knocks you down, you have a choice to stay down and surrender or rise up and become stronger. The pain is not there to punish you. It's there to push you into power. Let me bring it closer to home. Imagine a person who loses their job after years of loyalty. At first, they feel crushed. They question their worth, their ability, their future. But as days pass, they start reflecting on what they really want. That forced pause becomes their moment of clarity. They decide to start a small business, something they've always dreamed of but never dared to pursue. The struggle of losing that job became the spark that ignited their purpose. The pain that felt like an ending became the beginning of freedom. Now think about someone facing betrayal. A friend they trusted turns their back on them. That kind of pain cuts deep. It makes you question everyone. But in that season, you learn who's real. You learn the strength of your boundaries. You learn to rely on your own voice. Pain becomes your teacher, showing you how to stand on your own, how to protect your peace, and how to value loyalty more deeply. That betrayal didn't destroy you, it upgraded you. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you better. The difference lies in your choice. You can let it close your heart, or you can let it open your eyes. You can let it drain your energy, or you can let it drive your passion. When you choose to see pain as preparation, everything changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start saying, this is happening for me. Every tear becomes a seed. Every struggle becomes a story. Every loss becomes a lesson. Look at nature. It's the same truth everywhere. A storm doesn't destroy the mountain, it shapes it. The pressure that crushes coal is the same pressure that creates diamonds. Heat and tension don't weaken steel, they strengthen it. So why would your life be any different? If nature needs struggle to create beauty, then your journey needs pain to create power. There will be nights when the weight feels unbearable. There will be days when you question if it's worth it. But listen carefully. Every time you push through that pain, you are growing. You are stretching your soul, expanding your capacity, and unlocking a version of yourself you didn't know existed. Power doesn't come from what you avoid, it comes from what you endure. When you look back one day, you'll realize the things that hurt you most became the things that helped you most. The closed doors protected you. The heartbreak redirected you. The losses taught you gratitude. The pain gave you power. So don't curse your struggle, thank it. Don't despise your dark seasons. They are the birthplace of your strength. You may not see it now, but one day you'll understand why you had to go through it. One day you'll stand tall and say, that pain didn't break me, it built me. Because pain is not your prison. It's your path to power. It's the fire that shapes your destiny, the storm that awakens your spirit, and the force that turns ordinary people into unstoppable warriors. So the next time life tests you, don't shrink back. Stand up, breathe deep, and remind yourself, this pain is not here to destroy me, it's here to grow me. The moment you realize that, everything changes, because pain, when faced with courage, becomes the birthplace of power, and that power is already inside you, waiting to rise. Excuses are the enemies of elevation. They sound comforting, they sound reasonable, but they are silent killers of potential. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't have enough time, you are building invisible walls around your destiny. Excuses are deceptive. They give you comfort today, but steal your progress tomorrow. They disguise themselves as logic, but in truth, they are fear wearing the mask of reason. You can't rise while you're making excuses. You can't grow while you're holding on to reasons why it can't be done. Life doesn't reward explanations, it rewards effort. Think about it. Everyone wants success, but not everyone is willing to face the discomfort that comes with it. Excuses whisper to you when things get hard. They tell you to stay in bed a little longer, to quit when it gets uncomfortable, to believe that maybe it's just not meant for me. But here's the truth. Nothing great ever happens in comfort. Every dream requires sacrifice, every goal demands effort, and every success is built on the ruins of excuses that were destroyed. You can't take flight while holding the weight of what if and maybe later. At some point, you must let go of your excuses and rise above them. Imagine a person who always wanted to start a business but keeps saying, I don't have enough money. 5 years pass and they still say the same thing. But in those 5 years, they spent countless hours scrolling through their phone, watching others live the life they wanted. The issue was never the money. It was the mindset. Someone else with less money but more determination started small, sold something from their home, learned from every mistake, and built their dream one step at a time. The difference isn't luck, it's attitude. One waited for perfect conditions, while the other created opportunity through action. Excuses are comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of growth. They feel safe because they protect us from failure, but they also protect us from success. The truth is, no one ever feels ready. The person who starts the journey doesn't have it all figured out. They just have the courage to begin. The universe moves for those who move. When you stop making excuses, life starts opening doors. But as long as you keep explaining why you can't, those doors stay closed. Not because they're locked, but because you refuse to walk toward them. We all have challenges, family responsibilities, financial struggles, self-doubt, fear of judgment. But none of these are reasons to quit. They are reasons to fight harder. The single mother working 2 jobs but still studying at night, she's not waiting for the right time. She's making time. The young man who wakes up before dawn to practice his craft before work, he's not waiting for opportunity, he's creating it. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is not talent. It's the refusal to make excuses. When you make excuses, you give your power away. You hand your future to circumstances. But when you take responsibility, even in the hardest moments, you reclaim control. You start to realize that life won't always be fair, but it will always be yours to shape. Excuses say it's out of my hands. Determination says, I'll find a way. Excuses look for comfort. Determination looks for solutions, and those who look for solutions always rise. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked how he felt about all those failures, he said, I didn't fail. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the mindset of someone who refuses to make excuses. He didn't say, it's too hard. He didn't say, I don't have enough resources. He just kept grinding until success had no choice but to show up. The world remembers his light, not his excuses. In everyday life, excuses come in small, quiet forms. I'm too tired. It's not the right time. What will people think? But ask yourself this, how many dreams have died under those same words? How many opportunities have been lost because someone chose comfort over courage? The truth is, no one ever feels completely ready. There will never be a perfect moment. The only perfect moment is the one you decide to act. Excuses give you temporary relief, but permanent regret. You feel justified for a moment, but deep down, you know you've let yourself down. And the pain of regret always weighs heavier than the discomfort of effort. You can recover from failure. You can't recover from the chances you never took. That's why you must stop negotiating with your potential. You owe your dreams the truth. No more delays. No more maybe later. No more excuses. If you want to rise, you have to start now with what you have, where you are. Don't wait for motivation to come. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. And discipline begins the moment you stop making excuses. Every step forward, no matter how small, breaks the chains that hold you back. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you move closer to your destiny. Excuses are easy, effort is hard, but the reward of effort is freedom from regret, from what ifs, from mediocrity. When you silence your excuses, you open space for progress. You realize that you don't need perfect conditions. You just need a determined heart. You don't need all the answers. You just need to take the first step. So stop saying, I can't. Replace it with I will. Stop saying one day. Replace it with today, because every excuse you destroy builds another brick on the path to your success. You are capable of more than you think. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story and you'll change your life. When you stop making excuses, you stop limiting your potential. You start walking with confidence, speaking with power, and living with purpose. Because the truth is, you were never too late, too old, too poor, or too broken. You were only too comfortable. And the day you decide to rise above that comfort, everything will change. Excuses are the enemies of elevation. Destroy them, and you'll discover just how high you can rise. Discipline is louder than motivation. Motivation is that spark that gets you started, but discipline is the fire that keeps you burning when the spark fades. Everyone feels motivated at some point when the music is right, when the speech is powerful, when the vision is clear, but that feeling never lasts. It's discipline that takes over when your emotions quit. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to show up when your body is tired, when your mind is doubtful, and when your heart is heavy. Motivation gets you excited for a moment, but discipline keeps you consistent for a lifetime. Think about it. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is intentional. Motivation depends on how you feel, but discipline depends on what you believe. Feelings change every day. Belief stays when everything else shakes. There will be days when you wake up inspired, ready to conquer the world, but there will also be days when you wake up drained, unmotivated, and disconnected. The truth is, you won't always feel like it, and that's where discipline steps in. Discipline whispers, do it anyway. Discipline reminds you of your purpose when your feelings forget it. Picture this, an athlete wakes up at 5 a.m. to train even when their body aches. The cold air stings their skin, the muscles scream for rest, and every part of their mind says, go back to bed, but they don't. They get up, they tie their shoes, they show up. That's not motivation, that's discipline. And that's small choice, repeated over days, weeks, and months becomes greatness. Because greatness is not born in bursts of inspiration, it's built in the quiet hours of discipline. Motivation makes you start a diet, but discipline keeps you from eating what breaks your progress. Motivation makes you open a book, but discipline makes you study when everyone else is out having fun. Motivation helps you write the first page, but discipline makes you finish the story. Motivation is the flame of the moment, but discipline is the engine of destiny. Without it, even the most passionate dream dies halfway. In daily life, discipline shows up in small acts that seem ordinary but build extraordinary results. It's the student who studies an extra hour while everyone else scrolls through their phone. It's the employee who arrives early and stays focused when no one is watching. It's the parent who sacrifices sleep to build a better future for their child. These are not grand, emotional moments. They're consistent, quiet choices that compound over time. Every small act of discipline adds up, like drops filling a bucket until it overflows with success. There's a reason why some people seem unstoppable. They don't wait to feel ready. They act because they've made a commitment to themselves. Discipline is that inner voice that says, I'll keep going, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. When you live by discipline, you learn to trust yourself. You build self-respect because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove that you are reliable. That confidence can't be bought. It's earned through consistency. Life will always test your discipline. There will be distractions, delays, and disappointments. You'll face moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But in those moments, remember, discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You might stumble, you might slow down, but as long as you keep showing up, you're still winning. Discipline doesn't demand that you never fall. It demands that you never stop getting up. Take the story of a man who dreamed of becoming a musician. He had talent, but for years, every record label turned him down. Many told him he wasn't good enough, that he should quit. But he kept practicing daily, writing songs when no one was listening. He performed in small cafes, barely earning enough to eat. But his discipline never wavered. He believed that consistency would open doors where talent alone couldn't. One day, it did. That moment of success looked like luck to others, but it was built on years of unseen discipline. Discipline is the art of showing up. It's waking up early to build your dream while the world sleeps. It's choosing progress over pleasure, purpose over distraction, and consistency over comfort. It's saying no to things that feel good now, so you can say yes to the things that will feel better later. Discipline is not punishment. It's the language of success. The people who master it write their own destiny. You have to train your mind the way a soldier trains for battle. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your will. Every time you resist the temptation to quit, you build resilience. Over time, discipline becomes part of who you are. It becomes your rhythm, your standard, your silent power. It doesn't shout or brag, but it speaks in results. Discipline says, you'll see my work before you hear my words. A motivation fades when the excitement is gone, but discipline endures when everything else fails. When the crowd leaves, when no one claps, when progress is slow, that's when discipline shines. It carries you through storms and seasons of silence. Because the truth is, every great person you admire didn't reach success through motivation alone. They reached it because they trained their mind to obey their purpose, not their emotions. So, the next time you feel tired, unmotivated, or uncertain, remember this, you don't need to feel like it to do it. You just need to start. The action itself reignites the fire. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. It's about reminding yourself who you are and what you're capable of. Every morning, you have two choices: to stay in bed with your excuses or rise with your purpose. And every day you choose discipline. You choose growth, strength, and freedom. Discipline is louder than motivation because it doesn't need applause, permission, or perfect conditions. It works in silence and speaks through transformation. When you commit to discipline, you stop waiting for the right time and start creating it. That's when life begins to change, slowly, quietly, and powerfully. Because success isn't something you find, it's something you build one disciplined step at a time. The process is preparing you for the promise. Life has a rhythm, and every part of it, every delay, every challenge, every closed door is shaping you for something greater. The problem is that most people want the promise without the process. They want the reward without the grind, the glory without the growth, the victory without the fight. But life doesn't work that way. Everything valuable is formed through a process. Before gold shines, it has to go through fire. Before a butterfly flies, it has to struggle out of the cocoon. Before a person steps into purpose, they must first walk through preparation. You may not see it right now, but every moment of struggle you are facing has meaning. Every frustration, every test, every quiet season, it's not punishment, it's preparation. Life is molding you, stretching you, and equipping you for something you can't yet see. When things don't go your way, it's easy to think that life is unfair or that God has forgotten you. But sometimes the silence is not rejection, it's refinement. You're being prepared behind the scenes so that when the door finally opens, you'll be strong enough to walk through it and handle what's on the other side. Think about it. When a tree grows, it doesn't sprout tall overnight. It starts as a seed buried in darkness. It spends time underground, invisible to the world, but growing roots that no one can see. If it tried to rush the process, it would collapse the moment it faced a storm. But because it allowed the roots to grow deep, it can now stand tall no matter how hard the wind blows. The same is true for you. The quiet, hidden seasons of your life are not wasted. They're where your strength is built. You may not see growth on the surface, but underneath, your roots are taking hold. In daily life, the process can feel frustrating. Maybe you're working hard, but not seeing results. Maybe you're trying to change your life, but progress feels slow. Maybe you're praying, planning, and giving your best, yet nothing seems to move. That's where faith and patience come in. The process doesn't show results right away because it's not about instant success. It's about lasting transformation. The reason some people fall after achieving success is because they skipped the process that would have made them strong enough to sustain it. Quick success without preparation is like building a house on sand. It looks good for a moment, but it doesn't last. Think of a chef preparing a great meal. The ingredients don't taste good by themselves. The spices are bitter, the vegetables raw, the meat tough. But when it's all mixed together, seasoned, and cooked at the right temperature, something beautiful comes out. That's how life works. Each piece of your journey, good and bad, is an ingredient. The joy, the loss, the delays, the pain, they're all working together to create something you'll be proud of later. Don't judge the meal by the taste of a single ingredient. Trust that the process will bring it all together in time. There are people who want to reach the top but aren't ready to handle the weight of the climb. The process builds that strength. You learn patience when things take longer than you expected. You learn humility when you're forced to start small. You learn resilience when life knocks you down and you still rise. You learn empathy when you experience pain. You learn wisdom when you make mistakes. Every season is shaping your character, sharpening your focus, and preparing your spirit for what's ahead. If you skip the process, you skip the power that comes with it. Take a look at any person who has achieved something extraordinary. The athlete trains for years before standing on the podium. The artist practices endlessly before performing on stage. The leader faces rejection and failure before earning respect. Behind every moment of greatness, there's a hidden process that few people see. Everyone celebrates the victory, but few understand the struggle that built it. You can't have the crown without carrying the cross of preparation. You can't walk in purpose without first walking through patience. Sometimes the process feels painful because it's pulling things out of you that don't belong. Fear, doubt, pride, impatience. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. A muscle grows only when it's stretched and tested. A mind expands only when it's challenged. A heart matures only when it's broken and healed again. That's why the process hurts. It's stretching you into who you were meant to be. The pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to prepare you. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that every tear, every delay, every detour was necessary. Think of a student preparing for an exam. The late nights, the endless revisions, the pressure, it all feels overwhelming in the moment. But when the results come and success arrives, the struggle makes sense. The same applies to life. You're studying for your destiny, training for your future. The effort you're putting in today will show its results later. Don't give up just because the process is uncomfortable. The process is proof that progress is happening. Every great promise comes with preparation, and preparation takes time. You can't rush what's meant to grow. Flowers bloom in their season, fruits ripen when they're ready. You too have a season, and when it comes, you'll understand why the waiting was worth it. The process isn't delaying you, it's developing you. It's aligning your character with your calling so that when the promise finally comes, you won't just receive it, you'll be ready to sustain it. So don't despise where you are right now. Don't complain about the waiting, the struggle, or the process. Instead, embrace it. Thank it, learn from it. Because everything you're facing is building the version of you that can handle the blessing you've been asking for. The process is not your punishment, it's your preparation. It's shaping your strength, deepening your roots, and molding your purpose. And when the time is right, the promise will come. And you'll be able to handle it with grace, wisdom, and power. Because the truth is, the process is never in vain. It's simply the universe's way of making sure you're ready. The delay is not denial, it's divine timing. You are not being held back. You're being built up. And when your moment arrives, you'll realize it was never just about reaching the promise. It was about becoming the person strong enough to carry it. You are built for more. Act like it. Deep down inside you, there's a greatness that's been waiting to wake up. It's not outside of you. It's not something you need to find. It's already there, quietly burning beneath the surface, waiting for you to believe in it. Most people go through life underestimating themselves, living small because fear told them to shrink, because failure told them to stop, because doubt told them they weren't enough. But here's the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were never created to settle for average. You were created to rise above it. There's a power inside you that's been silenced by hesitation, and it's time to set it free. Life will often test you not to destroy you, but to show you what's inside you. Every challenge you face isn't there to prove your weakness. It's there to reveal your strength. When you feel like giving up, that's not a sign that you're weak. It's proof that you're pushing your limits, and limits are meant to be broken. You are stronger than your excuses, greater than your pain, and wiser than your past. The problem is, most people don't act like they're built for more because they've been conditioned to believe that survival is enough. But you weren't created just to survive. You were made to thrive. Look around you. Everything great you see in this world came from someone who believed they were built for more. The tallest buildings, the most powerful inventions, the most inspiring stories, they were all born from people who refused to accept mediocrity. They dared to dream beyond their circumstances, to believe beyond their failures, to work beyond their comfort. They didn't wait for someone to give them permission to be great. They gave themselves permission. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, the belief that I can do more. Think about the caterpillar. It spends most of its life crawling, moving slowly, unseen and unnoticed. But when the time comes, it goes into isolation, and what looks like an ending is actually a transformation. When it emerges, it doesn't crawl anymore, it flies. That's you. You may feel like you've been crawling through your life, fighting silent battles, facing disappointment after disappointment. But that struggle is not a punishment, it's your cocoon. It's preparing you to break out, to transform, to rise into the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. In daily life, being built for more means refusing to settle for less than your potential. It means when life tells you, stop, you whisper back,
watch me.
It means when fear tells you you can't, you answer, I already did. You were not born to live in limitation. You were born to live in expansion, to expand your mind, your purpose, your capacity, and your courage. Every day you wake up is another chance to act like the masterpiece you were created to be. But too many people are waiting for a perfect moment, a perfect opportunity, a perfect sign. The truth is, there's no such thing as perfect timing. The right time is now. The moment you decide to act, everything begins to change. Think of someone working a job they hate but dreaming of starting a business. Years pass and they keep saying, one day. But one day never comes because fear holds them hostage. Now imagine that same person finally deciding to take the first step, not with everything figured out, but with courage in their heart. They start small, learn, fail, and rise again. Slowly things shift. They discover talents they never knew they had. Their confidence grows, their vision expands. That's what happens when you act like you're built for more. You unlock parts of yourself you never knew existed. You see, greatness doesn't appear overnight. It grows in silence. It grows when you choose discipline over distraction. It grows when you refuse to let failure define you. It grows when you keep showing up even when no one's clapping. Being built for more isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about trusting that what's inside you is stronger than what's against you. Every time you face adversity, it's life asking you, how bad do you want it? And every time you push forward, you answer, enough to keep going. You have dreams inside you for a reason. They're not random. They are the whispers of your purpose calling you higher. The reason you can't stop thinking about them is because they belong to you. But dreams without action are just wishes. To live the life you're meant for, you must act like you're worthy of it. You must carry yourself like someone who knows their value. Walk with confidence, speak with conviction, and move with intention. Even when no one believes in you, believe in yourself enough to keep grinding. The world makes room for those who refuse to give up. And remember this, when you act like you're built for more, you inspire others to do the same. Your strength becomes someone else's courage. Your persistence becomes someone else's motivation. Your story becomes someone else's reason to keep going. That's the power of living boldly. You don't just change your life, you change lives around you. People don't follow perfection, they follow authenticity. When they see you rise despite struggle, they realize they can too. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not what people said about you. You are the sum of every time you refused to quit, every time you got up after falling, every time you believed when no one else did. You are proof that resilience is stronger than regret. And the moment you accept that truth, you'll stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. So act like it. Act like you're built for more. Wake up each day with purpose, walk with power, and speak with faith in yourself. Stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. Stop apologizing for dreaming big. Stop settling for what's safe when you're meant for what's significant. You have fire in your soul, potential in your hands, and destiny in your heart. Don't let fear rob you of that. You are built for more, so rise like it, move like it, grind like it, and live like it. Because the world doesn't need another person who plays small. It needs someone who dares to shine. And that someone is you.